So this is Diesel for We the People News. I'm not an attorney, don't care to be an attorney. I do not want to be bound down to any bar members. This is just a teach show, and this is actually really interesting. And I've heard of this woman. Again, y'all, I don't watch a whole lot of these videos, but here and there. And, I do more studying than anything else. I haven't kept up on the news forever. And then something comes across the table, like bad weather storms or something. And even then, 9 times out of 10, my wife watches it and tells me about it. This is for Democrats and Republicans, just to learn something. And I don't care if she's Democrat or Republican. She needs to be voted back in when the time comes. Mainly because she's bringing out the swamp. And you guys heard me on other videos. Democrats and Republicans are playing kissy face behind closed doors, y'all. And some of y'all may believe me and may not believe me. Don't care. But since I came across this, I might as well show it to you. And let me turn up the volume a little better. This phone actually has pretty good volume. I have a hard time controlling myself on it. Getting everything perfect on it. Here we go.
Good. We want everybody to know that. So, here's the deal. That's when I started paying attention, when Nancy Pelosi took the gavel.
Let's stop right there. Remember back in Obama when she says we must pass the bill before reading it. Now that right there kind of tells me that there's somebody, a boss of them. Now, who can be the boss of the lawmakers? That has to be martial law. That's just my opinion. The 14th Amendment is basically all about martial law anyway, so this doesn't surprise me. And of course, way back in Obama, it didn't surprise me then. I was studying it then. Not heavily like now, but I was. Here we go.
And so I said, you know what? We make it work every single day in the real world. We're able to pay our bills. We're not in debt. We're able to achieve things, and I think it's time for real people to go to Washington. And so that's why I'm a member of Congress.
I have to be honest, we the people are too stupid to vote for real people. We like to always vote for the elites. Just me saying that.
And they don't like me very much.
They really don't.
Thank you. And I love you because you are the people I understand. You see, I got to Washington, and I wasn't there very long. It was literally the second day when we had to vote on the rules in Congress. And let me tell you what they decided to do. Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats decided that they were going to erase gender in the rules for the 117th Congress. Yeah, imagine that. You can't say he, she, him, her, mother, father, daughter, son, brother, sister. I'm sitting there going,
regardless of what you guys think, Congress actually don't have that authority. Just plain out. They just really don't.
Wait, have these people lost their minds? Oh, let me tell you, I found out a lot more how crazy they are. And they call me crazy. Which is really funny. So we voted on that, and I voted against it, and so did a lot of other people, but the Democrats said, yeah, we don't believe in gender, we aren't going to say these pronouns and so forth. And then the days went on. Well, let me tell you, the bills that they introduced are atrocious. And I want to inform you all about something that I was shocked by. You wouldn't believe how many bills, as a matter of fact, most of them get passed by people saying their vote. We have 435 members of Congress, but yet, here's what they do. With a handful of members, maybe 10 or less Democrats and 10 or less Republicans, they call the bill to the floor and we vote on it. And the Democrats, because they're voting on all of their bills, go, yay. And then all of us Republicans are like, nay. But sadly, some Republicans say yay, which I still haven't figured out. And
Now listen to that, y'all. They are not allowed to do that. Constitutionally, they cannot do that. Period. And I am glad that she is bringing it to light. Because if an idiot like me know this, I don't understand why everybody else out there don't know this, but they don't. Alright? Now let's forget about the gender thing. Okay? This is more of the deals of what's going on in Congress and how they're acting outside of the Constitution.
And it passes. Well, I want to tell you, the first time I saw a bill pass like that, I think it was audible when my chin hit the floor. You see, I believe that all members of Congress should actually vote. What do you guys think?
Yes.
Isn't that a novel idea? Well, you see, the Democrats in charge were so sweet to me, and then there were I think 11 Republicans, something like that, 10 or 11. I have that list. I'm hanging on to it. That were so nice to give me some free time, and they decided to kick me off committees over a few things that they didn't like on Facebook some years back, and so it was pretty interesting. They said they didn't want me on committees, and I was like, oh, thank God, because the Democrats are running the committees, and they don't listen to Republicans anyways. And I'm the kind of person, I'm a business owner, I've accomplished a lot, I've been a competitive athlete, and I like to compete, and I hate to lose. If you want to give me some time on my hands, then you better believe I'm going to figure out smart ways to use it.
I'm clapping with everybody else.
So, I got with some people, some smart people, and I learned a little bit about floor procedure and floor action and how all this stuff works there in the chamber. And then I found out that I can make things happen, and I don't even have to be on committees. And I found out I can force every member of Congress to vote on bills that are brought to the floor.
Now listen to that. One person, and you know me, I use person, quote, quote, right? But they are a part of the government corporation, so they are certified as a person. Okay, they're not free men and women. But listen to that part. One person, all they had to do is challenge it. And they all would have to vote. It tells you how many times Democrats and Republicans are so busy French kissing one another that we keep on thinking that we're voting for Republicans or Democrats when we're just voting for both of them when you really sit down and talk about it. Now, they're good actors. They play the game really well. But that's exactly what they do on news. They're acting.
Because you want to know, right? And I don't think this is a Republican issue or a Democrat issue. This is an American people issue.
Agreed.
Everyone deserves to know how their member of Congress votes. So I started calling Madam Speaker, I'd like the yeas and nays. Well, let me tell you, you'd have thought that a bomb went off in there, and that would be a really bad thing. Because everyone was very upset with me about that. Oh, the audacity of that Marjorie Taylor Greene calling for recorded votes. How dare she put us on record? Yeah. Let me tell you all the things that were very offensive. Number one, guess what they had to do? When you call for a recorded vote, that means everybody's got to stop what they're doing and they have to walk down to the chamber with the voting card, put it in there, and you vote. Well, does that sound so difficult to do? No!
Well, Congress, it does. For any government officials to do anything, how hard is it to get a FOIA request? How hard is it to get anything from the government, period? So yeah, that's a lot of work for them.
Oh, you'd have thought that it was the hardest thing ever. We were making these people work. Oh, the complaining. Well, the Democrats were very upset because it was messing up the schedule because they're trying to ram through all the socialist bills they possibly can. You know, like the Equality Act that puts biological men in our bathrooms and in our girls' sports. How do you guys feel about that?
Again, Congress don't have that authority, but you have to just ignore that one little part and just get down to the meat and potatoes of how they are ignoring we the people.
All right, I'll come back to that. I have a good story for y'all. Okay, and then a bunch of other bills, you know, like allowing felons to vote from prison. Do you think that's a good idea? Murder people and then you get to vote? I don't think so.
Now, that being said, y'all, on my behalf, once you do your time and you finish everything out, you should have all your rights brought back to you. You done your punishment. You done your time. It's the end. Now, is that always going to be a good thing? No. But you paid the courts fees of doing it. It's not our fault they didn't spend their whole entire lives in there. That was the court's fault. But since the court's going to let them out, then they got their second chance, and they should have all their rights restored.
Cori Bush likes that one, by the way. That was her bill. So here's what we did. So I started calling for these recorded votes, and Democrats were, really upset because it was messing up the schedule. It was taking a lot of time, and everybody had to stop what they're doing. They had to stop their lunches and stop their fundraising calls and get up from their nap and all kinds of things and come down and vote. Well, it wasn't just the Democrats that were upset with me. It was the Republicans also.
What?
Yeah. Well, guess what? As a matter of fact, I got chewed out quite a few times, and it wasn't by Democrats. But
speaking of Republicans and Democrats, how many of the independents chewed her out? I would like to know that.
Because they don't talk to me. It was by Republicans. Yeah. Do you want to know what they said? Marjorie, you don't want to do this, Marjorie. I said, why? Why not? Well, you're going to put people on record. You just need to let these things pass quietly, and you can vote your conscience, Marjorie. You can say yay or nay. I was like, that's not what I'm here for. I know how to do a job, and I like to work hard. But just like you, just like all of you, just like the American people, will accept the ones that love getting paid their bailout checks and staying home and won't go to work. That's another issue. So I got chewed out for making people vote. And it was Republicans that didn't like it. Well, we can just go with the RINOs. Y'all want names, don't you? See, this is what they don't understand. And it's on both sides of the aisle. They've been there so long that they only know how to function together. And they forget who they work for. They work for you.
Speaking of which, I need to get in touch with my congressman and see if they like her. Because, again, y'all, I don't know too much about her. I just heard her because she's causing a ruckus and heard her name. But I haven't really paid too much attention to that because I'm too busy studying on other things. But as of right now, I really like her. And if you want to dig out the swamp, we got to dig out the swamp on Democrats and Republicans and independents. And what she's saying, she's operating within the Constitution. Everybody else is the ones operating outside the Constitution.
Well, let me tell you, once we started putting them on record and calling for recorded votes, and I started getting help from my friends in the House Freedom Caucus, by the way, and I started getting help from people like Matt Gaetz, and we started calling for recorded votes. Well, that changed things. And here's how it changed. For instance, there was one week, there were 28 bills that were set to go out there, and I said, put it on Twitter, because evidently Twitter is where you tell everybody everything. Unless you get kicked off, right? I said, I'll be calling for the yays and nays. And then all of a sudden, magically, boy, that list got dropped down. There was only 5 bills that came through that week.
Sit and think about that, y'all. After all these years of voting, and they've been doing this for years and years and years and years, how many laws that actually slip through the cracks that we the people don't know about because it's not put on record? And how many laws that's technically a law but we can't get? But Congress will go up and say, hey, you broke a law. Then they'll come and arrest you with the FBI and the CIA and all that. Oh, well, there's no law like that. Well, yeah, but we didn't put it on record. But here it is right here.
And I'll tell you one more thing that really, really sets them off. It's when I ask for a motion to adjourn. Well, that really upset people. Motion to adjourn is very important. It's when you're saying Congress needs to go home. Congress needs to stop. I want to call for a motion to adjourn every single day because Congress is so out of control. Congress needs to stop and go home.
I agree.
We made the Weber Smoke Fire Wood Pellet Grill with a range.
Can't pause it right now.
smokes
So I'm just
and
kind of letting the
sears.
commercial go by. I'll pause it here in a second. I should have just backed it up and made it quicker, but I didn't. Alright, what do you guys think? Because honestly, for Democrats and Republicans need to really get a second look on what the representatives are doing to we the people. And you wonder why our states are out of control? It couldn't be this right here, could it? You wonder why our police are out of control? It couldn't be this right here, right? Nobody is obeying the Constitution. And I'll say it once and I must say it again. Nobody actually signs the original oath of office. Especially judges. That includes the Supreme Courts. They got to sign the Article 6 for USC 101. Or any other oath will be not null and void if they don't take that one oath. So they are literally running around, not taking right oath of office. Trump was doing what was told, but Trump did not take the right oath of office. And I bet if he knew about it, he would have. Now, I don't know about anybody else. I'm a firm believer Trump would have done it. He's just a straight, blunt guy. I'm not really, a Democrat or Republican side. However, I did, and I told you guys before, when you stir the pot on both sides of the aisle, you're doing something right. It's just plain out simple. And she is stirring up the pot on both sides. So she is doing something right. Because Congress, Senate, and the President has all been out of control for a very, very long time. This is Decent for We the People. Y'all be careful out there. Never look just straight forward. Always look around you, for the outside forces may want to commit harm upon you. And this right here gives me factual evidence. All right, bye.